everybody. I am back. That's right. I am your host. This is Jessica Koch, and this show is Profound Professionals. It is the show that has brought you industry leaders from all over the world that help improve your personal life or grow your business. We have been here for almost 8 years now. I can hardly believe it. And today we have an amazing guest. We have Dr. Vic Baker. He is an expert speaker and a thought leader. Now, the thoughts, the thinks that we think and the places we go, right? So he's a brilliant thought leader on just not just leadership, but also diversity initiatives. These are things that, it's fascinating. I had a meeting today.
Mhm.
We love humans. I love human
Yes.
beings. Someone
Mhm.
said, "Are you friendly to this concept or that concept?" And
Mhm.
I love human beings. And so
Mhm.
diversity initiatives are what are going to bring our world together and up level
Mhm.
our consciousness, our
Mhm.
kindness, our collaborative ability to achieve brilliant, beautiful, and amazing things. And Dr. Vic Baker has also written for Forbes and other a really amazing top publications. So
Mhm.
we're going to learn all about him today. Welcome, Dr. Vic Baker.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you for having me on your show. It is such a privilege to finally be on your show. I think it's an act of God to be on your show.
That's
I
right.
can tell you, I think we paid the right people this time to get on here.
That's right. There
But
was some
no, it is,
negotiating of schedule, but it did work.
it got here. So I'm really happy to be here. It's exciting. Your audience is great. So thank you for having me. Appreciate
We're
it.
so glad you're
Yeah.
here. So give us some journey story background. I
Mhm.
know you have a company that you either
Mhm.
founded or belong to. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about how it ties in with your speaking and leadership and diversity. Talk to us a bit.
Yeah. So, and I will say this: I hadn't always been a doctor. So the
You
days
didn't
before
start
being a
there. You
doctor,
weren't
I was
born that way.
I wasn't born that way. So I grew to be in this position. But I will say, I can go back to the times when I was a janitor at the dormitory room at my college in order to pay for school, and graduate as an engineer. So I was an engineer, and I worked my way up through leadership in the various companies I worked for, particularly in the California utility industry. So I've been an
Mm.
engineer in the California utility, worked my way up through management, ended up retiring about 3 years ago
Oh, nice.
as an executive at our local utility here in the state of California. So along that journey, can you imagine how much I've learned throughout that journey? And
Yeah.
then being African American throughout that journey, I'm really the only one of me in most of my situations along that journey. And so I felt it was necessary for me to
Mm.
give back to those executives, give back to those first time managers, give back with some thoughts and some experiences, some to dos, some to do nots, some of all of that, and so I can help kind of pave the way, but also to some of our entrepreneurs who are out there. How can we survive, the 2 year journey of entrepreneurship that really 80% of us don't survive? What can we do to encourage them to continue to be the leaders and extend their business to the next level? So that's how I kind of started the business. And I lead everything with this diversity mentality that I have because I'm so used to being the only one. It's stuck with me. That's who I am. So my leadership, you'll hear a lot of it today, has a lot of DE and I mapped in it, not separate, not a separate journey. It's all encompassing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's how I got here. So the company I have now is called EquitiFy. EquitiFy, we specialize in executive coaching. I'm a master certified executive coach.
Mm.
Leadership training for our executive and first time supervisors and managers. We do diversity, equity, and inclusion training. We are the largest supplier of executive coaching, leadership, professional development for the entire state of California. So I'm really proud of where we've come in the last 4 years. This
Great.
year alone, in 2024, we've trained over 10,000 people in this year alone. So we continue to grow. Next year is going to surpass that number, and we're going to be around for a long time really elevating the next generation of leaders. That's what we're excited about.
I love what you do, and I think
Mhm.
that it's a component missing in our high school, middle schools, and high schools. Because if
Mm,
we taught diversity and leadership there, it would be a whole different story. I had a fascinating experience in the ninth grade
mhm,
before my family moved to a different region, but we were
mhm,
living in a place where when I went to ninth grade in high school, for several of my classes,
mhm.
I was the only girl of my color. And
Wow.
in one of them,
Wow.
I was
Mhm.
not only the person of my color, but also the only girl. And
Wow.
fascinating enough,
Mhm.
uh, there were always, in every situation, a small group of, because I think we're just all human beings, no matter
Uh-huh.
what's on the outside. But there was a small group of individuals that would challenge me and give me a bit of a hard
Mhm.
time. But then there were
Yep.
also a small group who built a barrier around me and protected me
Protect.
and were kind
Yes.
to me and treated me as if I belonged. And
Yeah.
so it's fascinating if we could incorporate, and I that happens in the workplace too. I think there are the
Mhm.
ones that challenge or are unkind, and then there are ones that will build this barrier and
Mhm.
protection around people when they see that happening. And if
Mhm.
we could just build that diversity and leadership and just kindness training, it really what it comes down to.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
accepting people and being excited about their differences
Mm.
and discovering them and learning about them instead of the other direction. So
Yes. You
yeah,
see that is enlightening. I think you should share that story more often, Jessica.
I
I
think
really
it's
think you
the first
should.
time
That is a
I've ever
fascinating
told
story.
yeah,
Mm,
I haven't told
mhm,
anyone about that. And so
mhm,
for me, I guess I never really thought about it too much, but I just figured that's part of school. Because truthfully, then I went to another school that went the other direction, but it was the same experience. There were some,
uh-huh.
it didn't matter that we had the same color skin. There were some that were challenged and were unkind
Yeah.
to me, and some that were protected and were kind
Uh-huh.
to me. So, it really was a similar
Mhm.
scenario. So I hadn't thought about it too much. Until we were talking about this, but that was my high school
Yeah.
ninth grade experience. It's
So
fascinating.
let me ask you then, and I don't want to continue. I don't want to put my research hat on, my doctor hat on, but I gotta ask you:
Yeah.
Did your ability to be empathetic when you migrated to the other school? Did you see yourself being empathetic to those
Oh,
people
sure.
who?
Mhm. I did, of course. Of course, but that was the case for
Mhm,
me. I mean, anyway,
mhm,
I spent my summers working, with, children with disabilities and
great.
teaching
Mhm,
music, and, so that was kind of the
mhm,
human some of it I think is DNA and ingrained in you. My parents,
uh-huh.
they didn't volunteer when they were young, but I
Mhm,
was a candy striper and volunteered in the hospital. I
yeah.
volunteered in church. It was something I wanted to do. So I guess
Yeah.
we all have our calling, not everyone's called to different vocations in life, and that was mine. So,
Absolutely. I'm not called to be a musician or a singer, but I get it. Absolutely. And some of us, and a lot of it is social construct as well, our social belonging. And the fact that you lived a life thus far and you can remember that instance where,
yeah.
hey, this is how I reacted. This is what my feelings were. And naturally, we're drawn to to people who are like us, whether
Mhm.
that's people who like to do chess, people
Mhm.
who like to play basketball, people who like to do, we're drawn to ourselves. That's just our natural instinct. The
Mhm.
question and the hard part about that is how do we open the door for others?
Mhm.
Because that same natural instinct is what carried into our corporate lives. And so
Mhm.
our corporate leaders looked the same way for the longest time, white
Mhm.
males, right?
Mhm.
Because they're drawn to hire people in mobility, upward mobility for those people that look, act, and feel the same way that they do. So, how do we teach leaders to be more diverse and to think outside the box and to
Yeah.
welcome that diversity in it? So, I like to say the tastiest results that we ever get as a leader is a well seasoned team. And so I'd say I tell all my leaders, think like a chef. You
Mm-hmm.
got to think like a chef. It's in the secret sauce. It's not just about having the right ingredients. It's about making sure every ingredient, which is every person, gets that spotlight. Right?
Yeah, well, and women are still struggling in the leadership of the workplace too.
Oh,
I mean, still, I was surprised. I watched
mhm,
a documentary on Helen
mhm,
Reddy and the I Am Woman song, and I did
mhm,
not realize that to this day, we still don't get same equal pay for same jobs. That law still has not been changed. I keep thinking, how can that possibly be true? But it is, and I'm flabbergasted that my daughter is going to enter a world where this is still the case. I don't understand how this is happening, but it's still not fixed. So there's a lot of room for growth and improvement
mhm.
all across the board in
Right.
diversity in the leadership world of
I
corporate. We have a long way to go, baby.
I agree. There's a long way, which means I get to have a job for a long time,
You
right?
do. You've got job
But yeah.
security.
But with that said, I ask the question. I get in these debates sometimes. I'm on panels and I get in debate, and I often ask the question: when we have these laws, what happens the day after the law goes into effect?
Nothing.
The very next day, is it 2 days later? Is it 10 days? Is it 2 months? Is it 10 years? When do we decide as a culture that we're going to abide by this and do the right thing?
Mhm.
So, and so it gives, because I think some people feel and throw out, well, we have laws that
Mhm.
make everyone equal.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that the laws have changed the way people think and changed the way the world exists
Mhm.
immediately.
No, but we
It's
still
not.
do need the law. We still need to
We
fix it.
do. Don't get
We
me wrong. We
do.
do. We need the laws in the right directions. We don't need laws that
Yes,
oppress. We need
yes,
laws that grow each other, that grow
and
equity. Right. So yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
So
Hmm.
the clients that come to you, is it typically an individual executive leader and they come to you on their own, or are you working with the corporate world and they're hiring you to do workshops or training or group training for their executive team? How is that working for you?
So all of the above.
Hmm.
Right now, I start off with individuals who I coached and I turned into clients,
Hmm.
and I coached organically because I was in leadership position. That
Hmm.
turned into those turned into clients, and then I have contracts with corporations for the executive leadership. So they
Hmm.
hire me to do their 5 or 6 or 8
Hmm.
executive leaders, and I do that on a monthly basis just to check in with them.
Hmm.
But I also have people coming through my website,
Oh, good.
and right now I'm not maxed out, but I'm close to it. And so I have
Hmm.
a team of executive coaches that sometimes I'm not the best person to coach them.
Hmm.
Jessica, I might not be the best coach for you, but I promise you I got somebody for you
Hmm.
that is great and can offer you an opportunity to be your best self. And that's what we're in the business of
Well,
doing.
I think that's a great way to run the company too, because actually, I believe there are some amazing things you personally could coach me on, but then might
Mhm,
be other things or topics that I need from your team that
mhm.
they would be better suited to if I
Yes.
was, employing you to coach me and work with
Mhm,
me as a leader. So I think that that's a really fascinating approach. Now, is
mm.
all of this virtual, in person? Is it a hybrid? Do you also have online training and recorded training? Like how are you
Yeah.
dishing out all the goods you have to serve?
It is all of the above. Today, I had 2 clients, one virtual, one came to my office. Okay.
Hmm.
Tomorrow, I head down to Southern California to do a workshop.
Hmm.
On Thursday, I have an all 8 hour day, two workshops in one day on Thursday that I'm doing on implicit back to the Department of Developmental Services for the state of California. How about that? So
Good.
we are the knowledge expert for diversity when it comes to people with disabilities.
Oh,
Uh, uh,
that's
so
lovely.
we're great at doing that. So it's all income. There's nothing that we don't do, and we launched our LMS, our learning management system, which has an array of leadership diverse portals, and it's called Floatify. So the name of my company is called EquitiFy, and the name of the portal is called Floatify. So we went to floatify.com. You will see that we have just launched this. So I encourage everyone to go to floatify.com to see our new
Beautiful.
LMS portal and sign up for a class or two.
I think that's fantastic.
Mhm.
Now, give us your website address too while we're talking about that.
Equitify.us, Equitify.us.
Okay.
Equitify.us, Equitify.us.
So
Go
if
there,
you
you'll find out our history, our mission, our vision. We do work because we're passionate about it. That is
mm,
why we exist. We don't just do it. It's great to make money. Don't get me wrong. We're in business to make money. However, we do this because we're passionate. And what sets us apart, really, Jessica, is the fact that we have a bunch of people on our team
mhm,
who have been who are retired or former executives in whatever industry they were in, who
mm,
went back to get their doctorates in leadership. Are
mm,
you kidding me?
that's
So
cool.
we have the research piece, but we also have the practical piece, the things
Mhm,
that work.
for
So I
sure.
can, we can guide you on the things that could work. Yes.
That's lovely. So,
Mhm.
give us a tip, something that people can do today that will help them improve their leadership skills.
Well, the one I always say is leadership is not just about power. It's
Mm,
about the purpose. And really, DEI should not be, I mean, it should be central to every leadership journey because it's not just about ticking the boxes. So when
mhm,
you ask me about a tip, unlock the full potential of everyone in the room.
mhm,
And how do you do that? And in order to do that, you have to be more inclusive in your leadership. You have to be more innovative. And the only way you can be more innovative and successful in your team is to be knowledgeable and purposeful with unlocking that full potential of everyone in the room and find a way to do it. So, I mean, I can give tips on how to do that. And one is, how about we talk less?
mm.
Do your vision as a leader, but ask for information because what we get paid to do as leaders is get paid to make decisions. And the best way to make decisions is to get all the information you can
Mhm.
from a
And
diverse perspective.
some
Mhm.
of that information really does involve what do your people want? What motivates them? What drives them? Often that they miss the mark or they assume it's the same things that as a leader that drives me does not drive necessarily my team. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's part of our coaching.
mhm,
Understanding your team and doing an assessment on who you have, the
mm,
same person that you have. So if you're wanting to pay somebody more, expecting a better result, but the person doesn't care about money, they care about vacation.
mhm,
So help me to understand why you're not getting the best result,
mhm,
right? They care about acknowledgement, not about the money or the vacation. So,
mhm,
and you're not getting that person acknowledgement, that's a problem, right?
mhm,
So you have to get to know your people. This journey is ran by people, no matter if you're in a nonprofit, for profit, government agency, the people run the business, and you need to know as a leader who are working for you. That's your job, is to get to know those people.
It's very true, and, that leads us
Mhm,
right into the next piece of this because often the people are very driven by the big picture story of what are you doing
mhm,
good in the world? What are you doing for the community? You gotta love those businesses that, every time you buy one of their products, they give one away.
uh-huh,
That's something that the people on their team can some of
mhm,
them are very motivated by that. That's part of why they
mhm,
probably wanted to work for that company to begin with
mhm.
is
Yep.
because it's very powerful the impact the company is making beyond, like you said, the making of the money, right? That's important and
Mhm,
good. But there is a
mhm.
big picture too. And that leads us to you out there watching. Go ahead and start typing those causes and nonprofits that you love and that are close to your heart. And we'll
Yes.
have Dr. Vic share one too. And maybe we'll just inspire someone when you hit that share button to give time, treasure, or talent to your cause, to Dr. Vic Baker's cause, or maybe we'll
Mhm.
just remind them of a cause that's close to their own heart. And if we can inspire people to do something good today, and then our time together was so, so worth it. So share with us a cause that you care about.
So it's interesting that you asked, and I'm going to share this, but I always have to have a preamble to my share. It is what it is. That's me being a
That's your
storyteller. And part
style.
of that, and that, so that preamble is, I sit on the board of directors for several nonprofits, but I just launched our family foundation. And our
Mm,
family foundation has a purpose. The name of our family foundation is the Baker Hope from Heritage Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do and what was really intricate about and our mission is to deliver resources to those people who are in need, particularly in school, but not our 4.0, 4.2, 4.3 GPA. We want the 3.1 that wouldn't normally get a scholarship, who has to take care of their little sister or the
Mm-hmm.
little brother and get a job in high school. And if
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have those extra things, they'll probably get a 4.0 or maybe have a couple of jobs and do sports. But we want to get that mid range, I call it, it's the middle class of education opportunity to have scholarships on that end. And then really and push in our seniors as well. I think our seniors are a forgotten population that we have. And so we really push to find resources for our seniors, whether that's in housing, whether that's in transportation, whether that's in healthcare. So pushing those resources out to them to ensure that they have the one, the knowledge and the information, and two, extra resources where they may need it. So kind of our children and our end is where our foundation is pushing. That website is Baker Hope from Heritage, hfhf.org. BakerHFHF.org. I would offer you to go and read a little bit about our organization, how we came to existence. I won't bore you with that, Jessica, but I will say this. My heritage comes from Mobile, Alabama, where my family's heritage is the last slave ship to hit the United States, and
Mm-hmm.
is called the Clotilda. That's where our story is. And to come from that to me being a doctor here and being able to give back is an amazing story. And that's only three generations. Three,
Mm-hmm.
three generations, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not too far off where we are. So I'm excited about being able to share that story with you all. But Baker Hope from Heritage Foundation is where we're trying to hit the middle class of education and make sure our seniors are really taken care
Well, that's a beautiful achievement and
of. Mhm.
story, and I'm so glad you did share that with us. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. So now, another favorite of mine is
Uh-huh.
books. I am obsessed. I love books. I think they're amazing. They're wonderful. I collect them in all categories, and I love hearing from our guests and from you out there. If you've written a book or you have a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business,
Mhm.
type it in the chat, because
Yeah.
when
Mhm.
people are kind and hit that share button, it gets out there and you're sharing it with so many people. But we want to hear about from you, Dr. Vic Baker. What's a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
My personal life, the number one book that's inspired me is Stephen Covey's Seven Habits.
Mm,
By far, I'm a Coveyite. I love me some Stephen Covey. A
mhm,
lot of my leadership journey and my expression comes from the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. But
mhm.
I have a fictional book that I love, and it's called Ender's Game by Orson Scott and
Ah,
Orson Scott Card. And it taught me about transformational leadership, but it also embellishes the importance of empathy in working in diverse environments.
mhm, mhm,
So I'm a big fictional person. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
mhm.
Not Star Trek, Star Wars.
Just to be
Yeah,
clear.
just to be clear, I have a lightsaber on the top of my mantle in my bedroom. I'm serious about it. Yes.
My husband likes
So
both. And
okay,
Ender's Game, wasn't that also turned into a movie?
it was, but the movie has nothing
So
on the
sad.
book. Zero on the
I
book.
know, but the
Yes.
ending was very sad for me. I did not, yeah, and I think that is the key
Mhm.
message of diversity right there.
Yes.
We're not gonna give you a spoiler alert. You have to go watch it or
You have to go watch it or read it. Yes.
read the book. I
Or I
think
think
it's
it might be
better.
Audible now. It might be Audible, so you can
Yeah,
listen to it in your car.
that's right. That's
Yes.
right. And I'm
Mhm.
hearing through the grapevine via Dr. Vic here that the book is better. So but yeah, so yeah, I have
Mhm.
sci-fi people in my world, in my house too.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
very good. Well, thank you for sharing those books. Now let's talk about some of the publications you've written for and some of the pieces that you've written.
So I've been gracious enough to be tapped by a couple of exciting publishers. So
Mhm.
Forbes, O'Dwyer's, Medium.com. So I published some articles, and I encourage you to go look them up. Pushback to DEI initiatives and how to combat it is one that got a lot of interest.
Mm,
because of the interest in DEI at this moment, especially the political environment that we're living in right now. Also wrote an article called DEI and Financial Institutions. You can find that in O'Dwyer's.
mm,
And then Breaking Barriers and Achieving Equality for Black Workers. That's coming up. That's going to be my newest article that I'm, again, writing for Forbes.
mm.
That is going to be available on the 16th of this month of October.
Oh,
And then
congratulations.
Why Cultural Sensitivity Matters in Business.
Mm,
Right.
yeah.
And I did that for medium.com. So I continue to write. I love to write. And yes, please don't do what my mother does. Where's your book? Where's your book, Vic? Where's your book, Dr. Vic? It's coming. It's coming. I swear it's coming.
I was going to say, I know a book is coming. So I'm glad to hear that. That's
Mhm.
exciting news for you. And
Yes.
I hope you guys all check those articles out. It has been so nice having you on the show
Oh,
today.
just I'm the blessed one. So thank you for having me. And I feel like I won a little bit of the lottery. 8 years in, and I get on the show. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. I feel
Well,
like,
I feel the same. I feel we were
mm,
lucky to have you. And if you're out there thinking, wait, I'm an author of a book, or I can help improve someone's personal life, or I could have
mhm,
really helped them grow the business, then reach out to our team and we'll let you know just how to get booked on the show. Now, before we say
mhm.
goodbye, as always, I'm not going to let him get away without sharing with us a closing thought or some information or inspiration as we go today.
I would say, be the leader you would want to be led, that you would want to see and be led by.
Mhm.
I would start there. Be that leader, and that leader likely is one that wants you or you want to be heard from. All right.
Mhm.
Also, I will offer everyone to go to the website equitify.us, sign up. If you name and mention Jessica Koch on that, there might be a rebate for you, or it might be a special something there for you. Actually, I'm gonna just tell you what it is. We're offering a free half hour of executive coaching to
Mhm.
those who sign up for us through our information page, and you mention Jessica Koch as part of that, and you'll get a free half hour of coaching. How about that?
That sounds lovely. And I think most important was his final thought. Remember to be the leader and show up as the leader that you would want to have. I
Mm,
love that. And I love all that you shared with us and what you're doing in the
mm,
world. And if you're looking to up level your leadership and really be the best version of you, I don't know any Olympic athlete in the history of time. And if there is one, please message us, put it in the comments. Let me know,
mm,
educate me. I get it wrong sometimes,
mm.
but I don't think there is one that hasn't had at least one coach. And I think many of them have all had multiples. And
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
if you really want to be an Olympic level leadership space,
Ooh,
then
I'm
you
taking
need,
that one.
you need to come see and reach out to Dr. Vic Baker and his
Mhm,
team. So I hope you connect with
mhm.
him. And until next time, I'm your host, Jessica Koch. This is Profound Professionals. We can't wait to see you at our next show. But between now and then, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.